It says we're live, but are we live? I don't know. I don't know, but you've been told, Eskimo. All right, so let's see if you guys know a thing or two. I don't know, but I've been told, Eskimo, something as good as mighty cold. You ever heard that song? I don't know, but I've been told, Eskimo, something is mighty cold. Can you even say that anymore? Eskimo something? I'll probably get banned on YouTube for saying that. Welcome, amigos. Hey, Chicken Charlie. Que paso? Oh, we got to monetize. Got to make sure I'm getting that sweet, sweet YouTube money. I tell you, man. It's hang on one sec. It's I have these ebb and flows of my morning routine. No, I didn't do a live stream last weekend. My daughter had 3 or 4 lacrosse games back to back to back, and I was white, man. I'm looking tired. See, the thing is, I get up at 4:40 now with the dogs, and so we had late nights playing lacrosse, and it was fun. Again, very few people were masked up. I could not have been happier. And then she took 2 or 3. They got smoked. They won close, got smoked, and won and smoked one. But anyway, so I didn't do one this weekend. I figured I'd jump on this one here tonight. I like live streams, but the fans comes first. I mean, everybody knows that. No one's sitting there saying, "How dare you?" And it's not like that. But I feel like, to be honest, this is going to sound weird, but I feel. Just don't take it weird. I feel like an obligation to do this. And it's an obligation I enjoy, really. So when I say that, don't feel like, oh, you're not obligated to us. No, I know that, but it's an obligation to be out there and talking smack. It's fun, and also trying to get through the insanity of the world as it is together, if you will. And I had a wonderful email I'm going to share with you here in just a second. But let me just make sure I'm getting monetized here. Hey, right on. 11 Bravo, 10th Mountain. Right on, Joseph. What unit were you in, man? I was in Bravo 187 Infantry, but that was in 88, 89 through 92. So we initially had the old barracks, and then we went the last 6 months, we went to the new barracks. So that's cool. And I never went to any war or anything like that. So I am a virgin when it comes to combat. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. All right, there we go. All right, cool. So we're monetized. All right. So what I want to start doing here, I want to just share with you an email this guy just sent me. It's man, I tell you what, man, it's one of those things. 431. What the hell's that? Man, is there 4 brigades up there now? 4 infantry brigades? Wow. So my man Joseph was in Charlie Company 4. All right, right on. That's California, right? Fort Ord. Man, 431. Nuts. Wow. Looks like Joseph will kick some butt there too. Good stuff, man. We just had 1st Brigade. Or maybe it's, okay, I don't remember. I just remember we had 187, 287, 122, and Triple Deuce. I guess those were battalions, but I don't think I don't remember anymore. Yeah, Monterey, right? Oh yeah, Fort Ord. Isn't that where they did the language school? I knew a guy who went to the language school. All right, so let me share this email. This is fantastic. Hold on a second. You can see my what did I do with it, man? Oh, man. All right. Well, I just read it 20 seconds ago. I don't know why I deleted it. That's not it. All right, hold on, we're gonna find it. I got this Dropkick Murphy song on my head, and I used to like Dropkick Murphys a lot in the 90s, and then they came Big Libs. And I said, I can't support any Big Lib bands, but there we go. But the music used to, I don't know if they're still doing, I don't even know if they're still around, but the music was catchy, and I got the song in my head from Dropkick Murphys. So if I go into it, just remember that's was from the old days in the 90s. All right, so here's my man Ron. He goes, hey, Josh, my wife and I are not able to thank you enough. We are not high-income individuals, but we are low expense. Imagine that, as most of us are. Because of your focus on retiring as soon as we can and enjoying our lives, we have realized that we can do this. I will not bore you with the details, but we have set the date much earlier than we ever would have thought. You made a difference in our lives, and so you have made a difference in this world. We love you, Shar. They call the old ball and chain Shar, which is funny. I shared this with my family. The kids and the pups. God bless you and your family, Ron and his better half. So that's freaking man. Let's just say a quick prayer, shall we? And as Catholics, we do the sign of the cross. You do what you got to do, but we're gonna give glory, because I tell you, man, one of the things that, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, my goodness, what a pleasure, what a privilege it is to help people. Oh my goodness, what a privilege. And I'm just so grateful for all your blessings, for all the people here. Just guide us all, Lord. Lots of problems out there. Guide us all. At the end of the day, we know Jesus rose from the dead, and we know the story, how it ends, and we know we will win, because God is the creator of all things. As such, there's no debate. We're going to win because we'll be with you. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. You hear stuff like that, and man, I tell you, man, it's nuts. And you're just sitting there thinking, what, wow. All right. So anyway, it's yeah, well, I tell you, it's funny too, because I really started getting to Owen Benjamin, and it's funny because very righteous guy with the Lord, if that makes sense. And I don't agree with everything he said. I don't care, but it's really turned me on to get back into the wholesomeness of loving the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And not that I don't. I mean, I do, but it's easy to kind of pull away, if that makes sense. And but you need something to kick in the pants, man. And sometimes maybe I'm that for you guys. I don't know, but you need a kick in the pants. And Owen Benjamin does that for me. More so, like I like Curtis Stone up in the farmer up in Canada, and I'm a huge fan of Curtis Stone. Been following him for a long, long time. Always like my man Dave Cullen out in Ireland. Huge fan of Dave Cullen, and there are many, many others. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, and Dave's a big and John Waters, who Dave introduced me to via his channel. It's just fantastic gentleman. You know what I'm saying? But you know, is Owen, because he does a daily live stream. It's almost like my sermon, if that makes sense. And as such, it made me pick back up my reading habits, which I engage in kind of ebb and flows about getting in the good book. And I tell you, it's just you get in a good book, you can't help but feel freaking fired up. It makes it great. It makes you feel fired up, man. No other way around that. It's awesome, because you know, at the end of the day, this right here is temporary. That is above is permanent. And as such, don't get too caught up in the temporary. Now, I'm not a guy that really gets all that worrying too much. I mean, when the Holy Spirit spoke to me 17 years, I mean, I was raised, I wasn't even raised a Catholic. I didn't get my first communion until I was 12, for heaven's sake. But anyway, my parents are hippies, man. We never went to church or anything like that. But anyway, long story short, I mean, what was I getting ready to say? Oh, well, but you're raised understanding that, we kind of by default follow the Christian God, if that makes sense. But it's really, for me, it wasn't until I had until the Holy Spirit spoke to me. And as such, I knew I was saved at that point, just because you just know. And, if you haven't had the experience, that I don't know. I don't have an answer. God still loves you. I mean, in fact, God still loves you, even if you hate him like that. That little Nas guy, whatever that guy's name is, some stupid rapper. What I liked about Owen Benjamin, he's like, man, don't be doing like these other right wingers, which are showing that guy's video because it's pornographic. And one thing we got to do is get people away from pornography, men in particular, especially when it comes to little kids. You can't have that crap. I could not agree more. It's just nice to hear people talking without feeling like, oh, I'm not going to be part of the cool kids. It's like once you recognize that you're never, if you're of this earth, you will not be of Jesus. And if you're of Jesus, you can't be of this earth. Inherently, you'll never be part of the cool kid brigade. You won't. That's all there is to it, man. The cool kids will always be of this world. And as such, as Christians, and if you're not Christian, if you're of Allah, if you're of the Abrahamic religions, whatever religion you are, if you believe in supernatural, you simply cannot be of this earth. You can't. Well, I hate to say for those other, I don't know what those other people do, but for us, we can't. We got to be of the eternal, the supernatural. And but it's tough, man. It's like, oh man, everyone wants to kind of be like the cool kid. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so it's just awesome. It's awesome. So, all right, so let's see what we got here. We'll start taking some questions. All right. Welcome aboard, everybody. Yeah, Dana. Hey, Dana, what's going on, man? Right on. Dana from Portland, Maine. Went to the Deering High School, and I went to Portland Bulldogs. Yeah. Oh, dude, it's. Man, I tell you, man, being out there, it's awesome. But the problem is, I do. Vic says I do see both. They flow into this thing called StreamYards, Vic. So I see them both. Yes, sir. But just wait about a month, Data. I'll be like, Fort Ord closed down in 1993. Man, I did not know that. What am I doing for spring break? We're getting out of here and going to Florida for some warmth. Yeah, can't wait. What am I doing for spring break? Ooh. Oh, I'm going to share that with later, actually. I'm going to share that with later. We aren't, we're not going anywhere for spring break. We have other plans, if that makes sense. I got mosquito bug flying around here. Liberals in California have you unlocked. Liberal, yeah, crazy. Screw the lockdowns right on. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Praying for a glorious holy. That's right. So, for Palm Sunday, what a wonderful time to get reunited with the good book, with the Lord, with Jesus. You think about it. Here's some hillbilly, basically, some redneck from Nazareth. I tell you, Nathaniel says, did anything good ever come from Nazareth? I mean, Nazareth is like going to Moorefield, West Virginia. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? Moorefield, West Virginia. Only 33 years old, did blue collar work, never went to college, never, wrote a book, just didn't have a YouTube channel. And yet 2,000 years later, we're still, all knees will confess, all knees will bow, all tongues will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. All over the world. It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing to me that regardless of what your take on Christianity is or not, the fact that we still, 1 billion people strong, more than that, still confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. It's incredible. Now you might say, well, it's, I don't know, flying spaghetti monster in the sky, whatever that is, or you might say it's all fake, whatever. At the end of the day, it's still incredible that even if it were whatever, we still, I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. I find it great. Right on, man. Yep. Army pension. That's a big deal. Right on. A long-time viewer from Kansas City, Missouri. Right on, Brian. Well, I appreciate you being here, sir. Eric says the info and stuff I offer is so appreciated. Thank you, sir. Small business and average workers are struggling. Yeah, man. Hey, all right. So there goes Keith Burchett, retiring on Friday. Freaking, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Right on, Keith. Good job. All right. I lost my crummy old job a year ago, says Chicken Charlie. My wife still works. We have a sizable taxable account. I'm the stay-at-home dad now at 51 and love it. Will not return to the crappy old job. Right on, man. That's freaking fantastic. Oh, yeah, right on. Joseph, I plan on retiring from my job 5 years. I'll be 55. I think that's a perfect transition work for myself. Need a backwards plan. Yeah, reverse engineer it. I'm telling you, reverse engineer your strategy for sure. And don't wait for 5 years to get started on your endeavor. There might be small things you can do now to get that party started, just laying the foundation. One of the best things I did, and I did it by luck, I suppose. It was in August of 2017. I was still working in my crappy old job up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I was commuting back and forth. And I knew I was going to quit. So I just don't like this. But I said, I can hang out for a little bit. That's when I said, And I came across this guy named Miles Beckler on YouTube, Miles Beckler. And he was doing this challenge. He called it 90-day challenge, where you do these various YouTube videos over 90 days. It was fantastic. I said, let me try that. And on Josh Scanlon's YouTube channel, my Josh Scanlon page, I never did a video. I said, let me just try this. And I said, okay, that's not as hard as I thought. I started doing experimenting, and I knew no one's going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So you can see some of my videos on there. I talk about Amato subs up in Maine. I take a video of a ship going through the I forgot what that river is that goes from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, that separates Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and Kittery, Maine. I did some videos there, just my phone. I put them up. Just practice. You know what I'm saying? In the interim, I was writing my book. Just practice. It was awesome. And so that's what I highly suggest is anyone who's looking at, I'm going to quit at some point and I'm going to do this instead, get the framework going, man. Be it blogging, be it YouTube, whatever you're doing. I don't care. Your web page, you got to get it going. And don't forget, when it comes to the web in particularly, there is something called page authority and domain authority. So the more stuff you have out there, with some basic SEO, search engine optimization, the more likely that the search functions will see your site. The problem with SEO on blogging is that blogging is saturated like you wouldn't believe. Now YouTube is slowly becoming that way, but man, the real estate is big, man. It's still wide open. Let me show you an example here. We're going to go to let's go to YouTube. And so what I mean is, if you're inclined at all to do a YouTube channel, just get started. First of all, get that real estate, get that space, because it's more and more people are going to YouTube now because of work from home and stuff, and just people recognizing the bounty for what YouTube is. And look, I get it. YouTube drives me up the wall for sure. I get it. The bannings won't stop until the morale increases, but it is at the end of the day. So I got rid of Facebook 2.5 years ago, and that was a wonderful thing for me. I'm not sure if I voluntarily sacrificed real estate on Facebook, but I had to do it. But I've kept on YouTube simply because it's been good to me, man. And YouTube is the second largest search engine by far, and that's after Google, and Google owns YouTube. All right, so let me show you something here. We're gonna go to this guy right here. All right, so we're just gonna type in. Let's see, I think you all can see this. We're just going to type in dog training in Alpharetta, Georgia. And we're look at us. 1, 2, 3 ads come up there. And there's my video. All right. I don't do dog training. All I did is I titled it correctly. Titled it to match the search engine right there. Now I'm not incognito, so somebody could say, yeah, but Josh, the algorithm already knows who you are. They're already dropping that in there. I bet if you type dog training in Alpharetta, Georgia, you would also see my video, probably the top 3 of the search engine results page. Let me just make sure I'm part 2 of this. Let's do dentist in Woodstock, Georgia. Woodstock, Georgia. Dentist in Woodstock, Georgia. 1, 2, 3 ads. Oh, look at that. And there I am again. All I do is I'm titling that correctly, and I'm putting the name, looking for a dentist in Woodstock, Georgia, in the edit, in the description. That's it, man. and I come up first. And yet, you know why these are pretty prominent? Because look at all those ads. Johns Creek dentist. I mean, these aren't, these dentists are paying big bucks for these ads right there. And yet my ad shows up, and I'm not even a dentist. You see what I'm saying? So right here, want to buy this advertising space for your business? Email my video ads today. All right, well, so what I'm saying is now this guy right here, we got Woodstock dentist. So he's coming up, dental care of Woodstock. That's going to be a first. Now, I don't know. I think you're missing an opportunity if you're not taking advantage of this for sure. And so again, dog training. And again, how we know that? Look at all these ads. 1, 2, 3 ads. So people are paying bucks to put their audience, their name in front of YouTube audience, where I didn't pay anything to get right there. So just if you're gonna do oops, what happened? If you're gonna do a business, man, get cracking right away. Don't wait. All right, so let's stop share. All right, so Chris says, I had a front load mutual fund from First Command before they were stopped. What should I do with it? Well, you already paid the commission. Why not just keep it, man? I mean, it's a Fidelity, whether it was Fidelity, I forgot what they call it. The First Command used to be Fidelity funds, but they weren't Fidelity Advisor. They were Fidelity something else. I forgot. But yeah, you already paid the commission. Just keep it. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, right on. Keith said I made him realize his time. Yeah, you got it, bro. I got the bugs flying around. All right, let's see here. Hold on a second. Nicholas says, how much do I need to retire if I'm 22? I want 25,000 a year. How much do I need to retire? I'm 22. If I want 25,000 a year, I would need $500,000 at a 5% withdrawal rate. Yep. There you go. So I appreciate the money. I think you answered your question, right? All right. Hold on a second. Oh boy. All right, there we go. All right, what do you think about? I'm Rolo Tomasi. What do I think about UBI, Uniform Basic Income, or Uniform Basic Income? Look, man, I'd be all favor if they got rid of all the other crappy welfare stuff. Look, I'm all down for vouchers. Say, here's your voucher for existence, but we're getting rid of all the other crap. They're never going to do it like that. It'll be on top of all the other crap. Here's what annoys me about people. Say, the Americans are so poor. Look at the poverty rates. Transfer payments are not included in the 1040s. You're not included transfer payments in 1040s or taxable income or anything like that. Transfer payments are hidden from that. As such, if people say, oh my goodness, that person is only making $15 an hour, 20 hours a week, whatever. But if he's getting Section 8, if he's getting Medicaid, if he's getting food stamps, if he's getting welfare at all, that's not included. So some guy who's freaking showing $15,000 to $20,000 of gross income, AGI, but he has all that other stuff, is actually making more than some other guy who's busting his butt for $20 an hour freaking digging ditches. And it should piss you off, man. It does. And then never mind the underground economy that goes with that. And if you think these people don't know they're doing that, you're crazy. That's why it's one of the reasons why I've always despised the war on drugs. We're creating criminals out of a lot of people could be entrepreneurs. We're saying, hey, no, nuts. Anyway, so at the end of the day, UBI said, look, and Nixon said it, and I can't stand Nixon. I'd take Carter over Nixon any day of the week. And if you're a Republican and you disagree with that, you're wrong. Only thing Nixon did that was good. The only thing that Nixon did was good. You know what it was? He testified against the commies. And this is before he was president, by the way. He testified against the commies. Alger Hiss. So Whitaker Chambers was taking on Alger Hiss and said the commies are infiltrating the U.S. government. And no one believed Whitaker Chambers. And it turned out he was right. And the only person who had the gumption to stand up and fight, like a Devin Nunes today, was Richard Nixon. But other than that, horrible president. Anyway, but he did propose a UBI. He didn't call it UBI back then, guaranteed income. Look, if we have it now. It's called welfare. So get rid of all the welfare, get rid of all the welfare rolls, get rid of all the employees that manage all that crap. Just say, if you're living today and you're over the age of 18, you're going to get freaking $2,000 a month, but everything else is gone. Then you're on your own. Then instead of having freaking Medicaid and all that stuff, just give vouchers. Here, your health insurance is 10. We normally pay, $10,000 a year. Now for Medicaid, now we're just gonna pay $10,000 a year for your health insurance. Go on the open market and buy yourself. The government can go in there and put a public option to make sure you have a guaranteed limit minimum. That's fine. The government can go in there and put limits like they do in Medicare Part C. But the thing with the UBIs will never be. We got enough crap out there. We need to start getting some of that crap off there and just simplify it. The problem is the capture, is the bureaucratic nightmare. So the bureaucrats, did you hear the stupid CD lady today? And what a freaking moron, man. Oh, it's pending doom. I'm scared. This is the CDC director saying that. What a freaking idiot. I'm like, dude, these people are so woke. They've never had a challenge in their life. So they just feel they can say whatever the hell they want. No one's going to call them to task. And now they get in the office where they're representing us, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I guess in college campus, you can say that crap, lady. In the real world, you can't. Anyway, long story short, so she's this unending, it's an impending doom. I'm scared. She literally said that. I was like, oh, for the love of the good Lord. All she's doing is she's trying to get more money for the CDC. That's it. The bureaucratic capture, man. The bureaucracy never wants the problem to be solved. You think the race hustlers want racism to be solved? No. That's why the more this racism is actually solved, the more they find racism where it doesn't exist, or else they'll be unemployed. Thomas Sowell talks about that. Booker T. Washington talked about that, man. Or Frederick Douglass, one of those two guys, talked about that. The race hustlers are always out there, man. The bureaucrats, they want more and more money. And so the UBI problem will just be the beginning. If we give UBI without getting rid of the other stuff, they ain't ever going to stop, man. All right. Want to quit my crappy job? Just need to have more invest in. Welcome to the club, man. Yeah, I'm 52. 50 years old. Big 50 in my 6th decade. My wife is going to reach full retirement 7 months before I will. If she takes her retirement, then 7 months later she jumps on my retirement, will she get the 50% of my benefit? Yes, she'll get whatever is more. So what's going to happen, Tom? Let's say her benefit, she'll get 50%, right? That's what I meant to say. So if your benefit is $2,000 and her benefit is $900 at her full retirement age, when you open up that window for a spousal benefit, then she'll go from $900 to $1,000. If that makes sense. Yeah, right on. So again, she will get the most of whatever is entitled to her. So spousal is half of yours at your full retirement age, not your 70 years old. I think it sounds like you probably know that. But just remember, your spousal benefit is half of your benefit at your full retirement age. All right, or she'll get her own 100% of her own benefit. She'll get the most of whatever is higher. Now, again, the spousal benefit is reduced if she takes it before she's full retirement age, as is her own will be reduced as well. It sounds like you got a pretty good grasp of that, though. Right on, Tom. Appreciate it. Ask you anything, eh? I have a small pension and a 401k. Can I retire? Why is Pink Floyd so great? Yeah, well, that's well, you love Owen Benjamin. He loves Pink Floyd. I'm like, dude, good night. Pink Floyd. Just, no updates on reverse RMD yet, Sergio. Man, I tell you, I've been writing this fiction book, and what a freaking nightmare. Why did I even take this on? It's one of those things. Oh, my goodness, man. It's just like you do it, and I like to write. I don't like editing. I don't like that in any of my books. Editing is a freaking pain in the butt, man. I hate doing that part. I like writing it, but then you got to come in there and clean it up. You're like, oh, what? It sucks. And it's one of those things that you do what you want to do. And I like doing YouTube. So I'm sitting there. I was just out there today with the dogs editing my thing. I said, I should do a YouTube video. So that's why I did 2 YouTube videos outside, because I'm supposed to be editing my thing on Return to Peaks Island. Woo, woo. But when I'm done with that, then I got my Roth conversion book. Then when I'm done with that, I'm doing my reverse RMD book. Then when I'm done with that, I got my book on Wellesley Fund. Yeah. What will tax rates be like in 10 years under Democratic governance? I'm not all that worried about income taxes. No one's that dumb to raise income taxes on the vast majority of taxpayers. No one's going to go the way of Mondale, as Rush Limbaugh used to call him, Fritz Mondale. But at the end of the day, there'll be an increase on higher earners. That's happening. There'll be an increase on estate tax or a drop of the estate tax exemption. So let me explain real quick. You'll have an increase in estate taxation, what that means is a drop in the estate tax exemption. Right now, it's like $12.5 million. I don't know what it is. It's some significant amount. So old David here has $12.5 million that is exempted from estate tax from the federal state. Old Dave's better half also has $12.5 million. So if Dave dies first before Miss David, she will be able to take as portability what David did not use in his estate tax and essentially have a $25 million estate tax exemption. So as long as Dave's estate is less than $25 million, the estate that Miss David dies with is free from any taxation. So the exemption is right now $25 million, something like this close. It's like $25 million, all right, for a married couple. For a single person, it's like 12.5. That will be reduced. I fully see that. But I tell you, though, at the end of the day, it's interesting because what we have here is we have a Democratic, just tiny majorities. Like majorities, I think when Bush, I can't remember, did Bush in the second Congress of Bush's first term, was it 50-50 or is it his first term? Maybe it was his first term. I can't remember. But there was a 50-50 Senate split, but the Republicans had the House. Now we got a 50-50 Senate split, but the Democrats have, obviously, Kamala. And then, because it's Dr. Jill who's president. She's dumb as rocks. But, Kamala is dumb as rocks, too. But, it is what it is, man. And then we have a Democrat majority. I think they only got 7 seats majority in the House. I'm telling you right now, this district right here where I'm in, I think I'm in the 6th, if memory serves, of the Georgia congressional. There'll be a wave if we turn. If this gets Lucy McBeth or whatever, McBath, then it's a wave. If we just take back some moderately Republican seats that somehow ended up in the hands of Democrats, that won't be a wave. A wave means Lucy McBath has got to go, people like her. And if there'll be a wave in 2022 if people like she lose their seat. We'll see, man. We'll see. But at the end of the day, the Senate in 2022, all these people assume the Republicans are going to win going away just because it's an off-year election and no one likes Sniffy Joe. I'm not so sure about that. The Republicans are defending more tough seats than the Democrats are, just a fact. And we know how the Democrats play. Now, I will say in Georgia, old Brian Kemp signed some pretty good legislation, and you knew it was good because the media was freaking out about it. They're same old cars, racism, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing's stupid. It seems like Republicans aren't being fooled by that much anymore. Maybe enough young Republicans have come up and said, look, you've been calling us racist since the day I was born. It doesn't bother me. It used to bother the old Mitch McConnells of the world. They no, I'm not racist. Some of my best friends are black. And now no one cares. I mean, just no one cares. I hope not. So it seems like the Republicans, at least here in Georgia, it had some stiff spines finally. Of course, I don't know why you would not, because you never win another state election unless you get this squared away. And the left advertised like crazy. And I don't watch any TV except what my wife has on while we're eating, when we're making dinner. But they had some really frantic ads. So the more frantic the left gets, the more you're making inroads. That's the fact. When it comes to taxes, though, no income tax being raised. There is going to be a carbon tax. I'm just telling you right now, which freaking infuriates me. In fact, I was just reading an article on that. I'll just share with you real quick. It's coming. A carbon tax. This guy right here. It's Roy Spencer. I've read this before. I was reading this right here. Let me show you right here. The American Petroleum Institute did what? They did not advocate for a carbon tax, even though that's what people are seeming. But this guy, David Middleton, talks about, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. There's going to be a tax. It's freaking stupid. But Yeah. So anyway, let me show you. Here's the tax right here. So if they get their way on a carbon tax, the price of your gallon of gasoline will go up by $167 a year for the average driver at 13,500 miles in the first year, and it's going to go up by 5% each and every year thereafter. And so I'm not sure how many years out this is, but anyway, the first year is 100. You're going to pay increased tax on gasoline, increased taxes on your electricity bill. So your electricity bill will go up to up by $653 a year on top of whatever it is now. And so that's coming, man. And so I just want to share with you real quick. The U.S. is already world in carbon capture. All right. By far and away, we're already the world leader in carbon capture. This is just, look, man, the freaking Jim Baker and George Shultz can all kiss my big fat behind. This is the kind of Republicans we need to just freaking get out of here. So I was happy to see Bill Kristol and Fred Barnes, those guys go, and maybe not Fred Barnes, but Bill Kristol and stuff. You got to get rid of these old guys. We were on the Reagan administration. I think George Shultz has since died, but we were part of the Reagan administration. So we're conservative, free marketeers. No, you're big government swamp dwellers, man. John Boehners of the world. You know what I'm saying? There's more than one way to price carbon. The commercial deployment of carbon capture. I agree with that. But they're going to get a carbon tax. U.S. carbon capture facilities. Look at us, 1 million tons per year. No one comes close to what we're doing already for carbon capture. Again, I don't understand the carbon dioxide is a fertilizer. But Josh is at 400 parts per million. What if it gets to 600? What if it gets to 800? We've been here before. Have we been with human beings? We don't really know. Probably not. Will we survive? Yes, we'll do just fine. If it gets up a whole lot more than 700, well, then we can worry about it. But as we sit here today, we're at 20 parts per million. Global warming, I tell you, that is going to create the wonders of global warming is insane. Longer growing seasons, more moisture in the air. We're going to have less deforestation. We're going to have less desertification. I just nuts, man. Anyway, so right here, why do anything? I know that most of my fellow climate change skeptics thinks that the American Petroleum Institute is just virtue signaling. All right, that there's no climate problem to be solved. Well, that'd be me. However, the people who make the laws think otherwise, even many Republicans. Exactly. Businesses and the trade groups that represent them have to obey the laws and actually have a fiduciary responsibility to encourage government to craft regulatory policies that are as business friendly as possible. Yeah, and they know where the ball's bouncing. They're trying to get in front of the 8 ball here. And so they're going to be pushing something that's friendly to their constituents, which is bad to us, but we don't have the lobbying, man. My position is to, all right, well, I can't speak for the American Petroleum Institute. I know that some manner of carbon pricing is inevitable. It's just a matter of when and how much our government inflicts upon our economy. My position is to encourage government to take the least economically destructive path in reducing carbon emissions. While I know that the climate is relatively insensitive to CO2 and that the increase in atmospheric CO2 and warming since the 1800s have been beneficial to mankind, and I'm fairly certain that even at 600 parts per million, the benefits will still outweigh the cost. My crystal ball gets really fuzzy beyond that. Yeah, we don't know what it would be at 700 or 800 parts per million. We just don't know. But to say that we're all going to die, and the whole thing's freaking stupid, man. That's why I support economically sustainable measures to reduce the carbon intensity of energy production, provided these measures do not negatively affect our continued access to affordable, reliable energy. This would mean maintaining a significant coal-fired capacity and expanding natural gas and nuclear power. Sadly, they don't want to expand nuclear power. I literally, if you're against carbon dioxide and you're not in favor of nuclear power, you are literally a Luddite because there's no way our economy can run on windmills. The idea that that's even it's stupid. Solar photovoltaic and windmills. Hydroelectric, you're not expanding hydroelectric. It's not happening, man. There's no place to expand it to. I mean, maybe on the freaking perimeters, but it's not happening. The only thing, again, biomass, stop with biomass. Solar and wind, that's what the big industry, Big Green, loves solar and wind because it gets so many flipping subsidies, man. And solar I'm okay with solar. You're just not going to get planes in the air with solar. You're not going to have ships going through Suez Canal with solar. It ain't going to happen. Winds are just a crime against humanity. Wind turbines are a crime against humanity of all proportions. So they can all kiss my big fat behind. Look, I think solar and regional generation capacity is great, but let's be realistic, man. It just, and you still need storage until we get the storage, but storage is coming. The technology, Tesla, as if the freaking smartest chemical engineers in the world history since mankind have been doing this since the advent of the lead acid battery. Do you think we're the first time this has ever been researched? Gosh, it drives me up the wall. You're anti-green. No, I'm pro-human. And humanity needs cheap, abundant energy to run our lives. Where we don't have it, we have people in India and other third world countries in sub-Saharan Africa dying because of so much exposure to pollutants from burning wood and cow dung to freaking heat their homes and cook their food. And no one gives two craps about Black Lives Matter in Africa. No one gives two craps about Brown Lives Matter in India from poor people who don't have access to cheap, reliable energy. Oh, we're going to give them sun ovens. You freaking idiots. For me, all right, so what used to be, I'm an anti-abortion. I don't think I've ever made that hidden. That's not my number one issue. It's pretty up there, though. I mean, most people who are anti-abortion, I think a lot alike for the most part, all the time. But I'm anti-abortion because I think it's disgusting. Disgusting. Where we're going with abortion is disgusting. My number one issue, though, has always been Second Amendment. Always been the Second Amendment. So there's basically one way I knew if a person was squishy. What do you think about gun control? Well, common sense. Don't get out of here. Kick in the butt. Leave. Kiss my big fat behind. Number two would be abortion. What do you think about abortion? You can make some arguments there. By and large, though, if you were anti-abortion like I was, you had the intestinal fortitude to stand up against the freaking masses, which I like. Not the huge issue for me. Gun control is the number three. The big three now is climate change because it's such a freaking scam. Everybody knows it. The people who don't know it are ignorant fools, and that means they don't know, and they're still fools because they're acting as if it's like Greta Thunberg's of the world. I mean, she's just a tool. Man. We know this, and as such, climate change. People say, but like I got a guy. I think it was on my own channel. No, it wasn't. Some clown. He's a tree hugger and a pilot. And I said, dude, you're a freaking fool. I didn't call him a fool. I said, you're a hypocrite, dude. He goes, well, what else am I supposed to do to get around here? What else are we supposed to do to live in modern society? I said, if you're worried about CO2, you damn well better not be getting on that plane and you're a pilot. So I insinuate that you're getting on a plane on a regular basis, which means you're spewing CO2 in the atmosphere more so than most people in the world does. And yet you're sitting there thinking, I'm hugging trees. Freaking scumbag. So when it comes to because I hate that crap. I hate it. All these people want to deny third world country people access to clean, reliable energy, and yet they still want to say, I'm a tree hugger while I'm flying around my freaking plane. Freaking scumbags, man. You can't do that. People are dying because these people, man. You can't have that. Can't have that. Which is another, but you're into, what is it? But that's another reason why, because I love humanity. Human beings are a net good in the society. Human beings are not a net bad. All right, so anyway, that was a long diatribe on tax rates. All right, so my man Remo, oh yeah, dude, 1.3 billion profess to be Christians, yet far too many fall short of what Jesus taught. I would say 1.3 billion falls far short of what Jesus taught, man. When am I going to make some content for younger folks? Yeah, younger folks don't. I mean, I have right here, brother man. Right there. All younger folks should buy this book. They all should. This is my first book. It was geared towards younger folks. The younger folks stuff, it just kind of bores me because it's just not that much to do. Get out of debt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, pay it down. Don't go to freaking spending huge amounts of money in some SJW college program. That's for sure. Ooh, by the way, let me text my wife. I got to get some more tea. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Oops. Ooh. Anyone for tea? Anyone for tennis? Who sings that song? Anyone for tennis? I'll be banned if I sing it because I sound so much like the singer there. You know what I'm saying? Anyone for tennis? All right. I don't know, man. We'll see. What I like TurboTax, Chicken Charlie. I use TurboTax. I'm a big fan. First time, long time. So I like TurboTax. It's not perfect, but No tax planning software is perfect. Trust me on that. None is. Dan Coolbert's in the house. Right on, man. Right on. So Dan Coolbert, I'm going to bring up his website here, which you all should go and buy his stuff, because I get lots of requests for my spreadsheets, and my spreadsheets suck compared to old Danny Dan's here. And you should, if I get right here, you should go to 55e.co, and I don't get paid from Dan. His spreadsheets. I do so many videos on using this bucket strategy one that I've got paid more than enough off the content I produce on my channel just using this right here. So y'all should go to 55e.co and rebalance free spreadsheets right there, man. Oh, Nelly. Wait, hold on a second. Babes, you coming up?
No, I forgot.
Babes, no one cares. Who is it? Right there. Who's winning, Houston or Oregon State?
Houston's up by 11.
Ooh, who else you got? Who's your Final Four, Liam?
Michigan, Houston, I think Baylor, and then another one.
You don't even remember who got the other one?
No.
Oh, boy. Liam. What are we going to do with that kid? That's only 3. That's for 4. That's my boy. That's my youngest. Anyway, so go to 55e.co for sure. All right, my man Friedman, Will Rim, right? Freedom, okay. Hopefully living off my pension 401k until 65, then investing the Social Security for my offspring. Right on, brother. Genevieve says, is there a better, other than Charlotte and Maddie and Chloe, is there a better name than Genevieve? I've always liked that name, Genevieve. I don't know why. Is that, I don't think, well, maybe it is Irish. Is that, McCarl's, that sounds Irish. Is Genevieve an Irish name? I don't know. Some of those Irish names I don't like. What was the one? Did you know what Siobhan is not pronounced like it looks? Shaban or something like that? Shaban. And did you know Ciara isn't Sierra? Chloe's got a friend named Kira, and I said, but I saw her name. I said, Sierra. She goes, no, that's Kira. I said, what? She goes, it's Irish, dude. I said, ooh. So I got to turn in my Irish card. Yes. So Genevieve says, is it wise to use a 401k to pay off high interest credit cards? Yes. Spending hundreds in interest monthly. Born in 1960. Husband, we have 2 kids. Yeah, so you should borrow against it, Genevieve. Borrow against, I got a loan, right? I got a chapter in this book right here. You should borrow from your 401k to pay off debt. And I spreadsheet it out for you. You will increase, and I got videos too on that, by the way. You will increase, I mean, I can't say you will, but I show you how you could increase your net worth by borrowing from your 401k to pay off freaking credit card debt or any kind of high interest debt. I spreadsheet right there. If it's on a spreadsheet, it's like Dr. Fauci. It must be God's word, right? Because it's a spreadsheet. Climate change, people. It's not a spreadsheet. We modeled it out with the best software available. Michael Mann loses in court again. Oh, Michael Mann, the hockey stick guy, loses once again. Refuses to share his data. Interesting. His data is so fireproof, he refuses to share. Clown. So anyway, yes. Borrow against your 401k to pay off high debt without question. Especially, I tell you, on top of that, I give my example. Well, this didn't work out quite like I thought, but it still worked out. I borrowed against my 401k. I got LASIK. I took out a loan from my 401k. I thought the markets were pretty high at that point, so I borrowed $4,000 from my 401k to get LASIK. Hell, 10 years ago now, and obviously the markets weren't at a high. But I thought, was it 10 years, 8 years ago? I can't remember. But anyway, I took out. So long story short, I said, okay, I'm going to get out of the market for this amount of money I borrow, because when you borrow from your 401k, they're selling you out for the amount that you borrow immediately. Now you get the money tax free. So all these people say you're going to pay double tax. No, you're not paying double tax. So they're missing the point that you get the money out tax free. I've been meaning to do a video on this for so long, how the benefits of getting the money out of the 401k via borrowing and just investing it tax free as opposed to deferring. But I got so much videos I want to do. Anyway, point being is that so if the markets decline and you had borrowed against your 401k to pay down credit card debt, well, you sold high. to pay off a debt. The debt won't change regardless of what the markets do. Now, the interesting thing is when you pay that money back, you're paying the money back, yes, with the after-tax income, I grant you, but you came out tax-free, so it's a wash. But you pay that money back and you're buying dollar cost averaging. So you're buying when the markets are low. So it's a great dollar cost average mechanism. So now you're killing two birds with one stone. You're locking in some gains because the market's up. You're paying off a credit card debt regardless of what the markets are doing. And now when you're putting the money back in on a monthly basis or every paycheck basis, you're dollar cost averaging, hopefully when the markets are going back up. Even if the markets continue to go on, don't forget, you're paying yourself the interest. There's no magic bank that you're paying the 401k interest to. It's you. It's literally you. You are paying yourself the interest. So I think it's hugely wise. So good question. Pulverizer. Is that okay? I'm not sure. Was that a high, a buy, a high, or I'm not sure. Do you really think someone retiring in the 30s can really take 5% and not run out? Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say? 3%, 2%? Absolutely. You know why? Because common sense can prevail, man. Common sense, you're going to say, things are getting tight. Maybe I won't take 5% a year out. Look, anyone who just sits there and say, well, my financial advisor said I could take 5% a year out. So no matter what, I'm taking 5% a year out. No one does that. Stupid, man. Dumb. I mean, I'd say 5% is just as legit as 3, just as legit as 2, just as legit as 4. Common sense. Common sense. Some people got to get another job later on. The 5% isn't the issue. The issue is, what are you going to do when the markets go south? And if the markets go south, you're going to tighten your belt. That's simple. You're probably saying, this year I probably won't take 5. Do you really think it's going to be that big of a deal if you took 4? You're like, oh, man, I'm good. Especially when you know 4% was built, how can I say this? Built on dicey assumptions. We'll just say like that. Dicey assumptions. People get really, they're tighty-whities. They get really up and they say, oh, my goodness, you're challenging the sacrosanct 4% rule. I'm like, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, so absolutely. There's nothing wrong getting a part-time job, by the way. Tell that to people all the time. Say, man, go work at a nursery. Go show people how to, plant flowers. $20, 20 hours a week for $10 an hour. That'll go a long way. Absolutely. All right. 48 would plan to retire. 1.5 no debt. Love your advice. Right on, Huskers. Husker do. Without specifics, 2 years from retirement, generally speaking, pay as much possible in mortgage, add to cash, max our 401ks, 100%. Whoa. No, I never said that. Whoa, John Lyons. Without specifics, 2 years from retirement, gotcha. Generally speaking, pay as much possible in the mortgage, yes. Add to cash, yes. Max our 401ks, niet. Niet, as my Russian president would tell me. Niet, that means no. No. We want to use the 401k to the extent of the match and then put the rest in a taxable account. And I would put it in a cash. I don't know what your cash holdings are, but man, I'm telling you, the beauty of having after-tax money already set aside once you retire is ginormous, man. Ginormous. Use 401k up to the extent that they allow you to do. I mean, if they have a Roth IRA, that's fine. A Roth 401k, then I would do that for sure. But man, I tell you, the beauty of having a taxable account, be it a cash account or a brokerage account or both, after you hang up your boots is wonderful. I cannot stress this enough. The one issue I have with all the clients I deal with, 56 years old, 54, 56, 62, something like that, and all they have is 401k money. The Obamacare subsidies, they ain't happening. You know why it's not happening? Because they're going to pay taxes through the roof, and which is going to increase their friggin' income, their Maggie, and their Maggie will reduce their ability to get Obamacare premiums. It happens all the time. Never mind if they don't have any in a 401k, they're going to get a 10% penalty because they're pre-59.5. I tell you, man, an after-tax account is worth its weight in gold, be it in a cash or a brokerage account. Ooh, hot tea. We talked about that. Right on. I appreciate your money. If Fauci needed to retire many moons ago. Piscataqua went. That's right. Piscataqua. Yep, I did a video on that. Yeah, Fauci. Some people get mad. I still blame Trump, man. I blame Trump for relying on not Mike, what's his name? Pence, yeah, Pence, to give us Fauci and Birx, and that's on Trump. Personnel is policy, and Trump had bad personnel. No other way around that. I like Pence, but at the end of the day, Pence sold us down the river for Fauci and Birx, and here we are, freaking. And that's on Trump, man, because Trump was the person in charge. Retiring at 69. Would my wife get 50% of my Social Security at my full retirement age? Huh? All right. Would my wife get 50% of my Social Security at my full retirement age, or what I will get? No, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. She'll get 50% your FRA, your full retirement age. All right. So she does not, you will get delayed earnings credits because presumably you're taking your benefit later. But she won't get those delayed earnings credits as a spousal benefit. Now, she will get those as a survivor benefit, assuming you kick the bucket before she does. She will get whatever benefit you are getting at the date of death. But that's called a survivor benefit. But a spousal benefit, she will get half of your FRA, no more. All right, right on. Talk about UBI. Good heat, right on, man. Right on, Harry. Retiring in 32 days. Jimmy Johnson, man, he got all those Super Bowl trophies. 3 income streams, TSP account, and Social Security. Close to 100% salary replacement. Yeah, no, I get it, dude. I mean, don't kick yourself for still being nervous, Jim. Hell, everybody is. You're going to a different set. I'm telling you, man. This is the emotional aspect of going from accumulation to decumulation. It's a big flipping deal. It really is. It's not. People say, why are you worried about it? Because you got no income coming in from labor. You got no labor coming in. And as such, you're like, whoa, now you got more time on your hands to think about it too. And you slowly see your TSP maybe winding down a little bit, market decline. You're like, could I make a mistake? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be nervous. Absolutely. First with 33 views. I'm not sure what that means. Oh man, I keep going. It keeps pushing me way up here. Oh, okay. Pulverizer says someone said hello, so I wait and responds right on. Pablo is with his mom, my wife. Do I use? No, I don't use anything in this hair. I didn't shower today. Don't tell the better half. So that's why whenever I have my hat on, that means I haven't showered yet. All right, just FYI, in case you're wondering, why is he wearing his hat? It means I haven't showered. Yeah, that's a very good. Your eyeballs are priceless. How are you going to put a 7.62 round through the forehead of your target 500 meter? It's interesting, Frank. So Frank's talking about my LASIK. I think this is the most talked about prep item there is eyesight. So one time I used to live in Alexandria, Virginia, and I used to commute up to George Mason for college. And I was living in Alexandria, commuting to George Mason. I was working in Arlington, so I was on 495 and 66 a lot. And one time, and I had Coke bottle glasses, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't see crap. And then one time I'm on 495 the Beltway, and I looked over my shoulder. I can't remember which way. I think it was going to the left to merge, and my glasses, fell off my head. I can't remember why they just fell. And I was like, I couldn't see crap. So I'm like this, looking in down here and stuff. I couldn't get by. So like, holy crap. I couldn't see. And I said, so I just put my turn signal on. I slowly started going over, and I was like, ugh. And I said, man, and this is what I always wondered, how did the people in the old days, man, how did they, when they lost their eyesight, what did they do? Because I literally am not productive without my eyesight. I couldn't see crap, man. Literally, I think I was like 2,750 or something like that. It's nuts. So how did they do in the old days? I don't know. But anyway, so I get on over. I'm like, ugh. And if you know the Beltway in rush hour in DC, it ain't fun. And I just finally got over. I finally able to get my glasses. And I said, man, after that, I'm going to get LASIK, because when the zombies or the Bolsheviks come and they got your glasses like Piggy from Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? They smash your glasses. I'm a wet bag. I said I can't have that happen. I tell you. So if you're into prepping, I'm telling you, you better be looking at LASIK or get a bunch of glasses stored up because the minute the Chi-Coms come, whoo. All right, I must have. Hold on a second. Cream, right on, Jason. Anyone for tennis? All right. Yeah, I saw that too, Glenn. Antarctic ice at 30-year high. I saw that. I was going to do a video on that, man. Freedom Willing said either my computer is busted or I got locked out. Locked out of what, man? There's stuff in the curse of Brady. It must be. All right, hold on a sec. Oof, man, I missed a bunch here. All right, hold on a sec. We'll get down here. Okay. I missed something. So I the ones previous the questions on here previously before Tim, they're gone now. I don't know where they go. All right, about to quit my crappy old job. I have 2 pensions, power company, $225,000 lump sum, and $3,075,000 lump sum. Should I roll these to an IRA? I'm 46 years old. I don't. There's no way I can answer that. My inclination is probably, but I don't know the. I don't know what your. I don't know what the 2 pensions were offer you. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you. I mean, maybe I should probably. I don't know, man. You'd have to. That's a lot of money, and those pensions might be very valuable to you. But I don't know. Maybe split them up a little bit. There already is carbon credits mandated by government. Tesla made profits only because they can sell their carbon credits. Yeah, and some of the carbon credits are actually just planting trees. So I plant a bunch of trees. So I have carbon credits, right? Ooh, by the way, I went to the store today. I didn't wear my mask because I saw these other guys with a mask on. I say, sweet. And if they say anything, so I've been vaxxed. I got the vax. They say, do you have a card for us? I said, none of your damn business. I'm not showing you my personal information, fool. They say, well, if you don't show us the card, we're going to walk out. I said, fine. But I've already been vaxxed. I already got the jab. That's why I got 3 heads. If you believe higher inflation is imminent, then tips. But if inflation does not accelerate, tips will hurt your portfolio. That's right on. Maybe. I'm 55, no debt, spend $20,000 a year. I have a stash of cash in my 401k and stocks. Well, the top 3 things I should worry about before I quit my crappy old job. That's a good question. There's Pablo. Come on, buddy. Someone's asked for Pablo. So, Mary, that's a good question. Mary Momentum. Come on. People want to see old Pobs. I think you got to think about what you're going to do. Come here. There he is, everybody. Everyone wants to see Pablo. I think you got to figure out what you want to do with your time. You're only 55, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming you're single, so you're gonna have some time to kill, and that could be good. But I'm just a lot of men, in particular, Mary. I don't find as much as women. A lot of men do get cranky in retirement. I'm just telling you, they get bored, and when they get bored, they find things that at MSNBC or Glenn Beck or whatever and they just get really cranky and hard to deal with. And they check their stock portfolios and not good. Make sure you're retiring to something as well as retiring from something for sure. Obviously healthcare, but you already got pegged down. It's $550 a month. All right. That sucks, but worse things have happened. Just think about what you're going to do, really. Make sure you're not, I don't know what your physical state is, but make sure you're keeping the weight off. Getting big is not good. It's just not. This is not fat shaming people. It's just the nature of our diets. We've been fed a lie by the nutrition industry. It's not just industry, but the nutrition, not the pharmacists, the quote scientists, whatnot. They fed us a lie about bad nutrition, and it's really hurt people drastically. People are hurting, man. Physically, it's bad. Make sure that's not you. That's just bad. Anyway, that's what I'd say. I said, look, what are you going to retire to? What are you going to do? What are you going to do for fun? What are you going to do for enjoyment? What are you going to do to keep your mind active? And then figure that out. That's to be the big one right there for sure. No debt's huge, man. Yeah. Which is I think is gonna be funny. What's gonna happen with the Green New Deal? All these rich people in the Northeast and California who love to fly to their favorite haunts in France are suddenly gonna find, ooh, can't fly as much. Because if you're serious about CO2 and you're not taking flying, I mean, AOC, to her credit, she's not that bright, I grant you, but she knew what was the cause of CO2. The primary cause of CO2 is transportation devices, and the big one for most people is airplanes and cruises. Can't get on a plane, can't take a cruise if you're worried about CO2. You just can't do it. And so as such, if they pass it, and I don't fly that much, and I just, whatever, man, I don't care. I'd much rather drive anyway. But they say, hey, we're going to make it so it's a lot more expensive, and they're going to gripe at the airlines. The airlines are charging too much. Yeah, that's what they always do. But you don't know, Remo. You don't know what the pension payouts were. So Remo is saying roll into an IRA, but you don't know what the pension payouts were. So he says 2 pensions with lump sums. So you got to be careful there. One has to go Skinner, Zeppelin, Grand Funk, the Stones. I never liked Grand Funk, and I never liked the Stones much. So if one had to go, it'd be Grand Funk. They just never did anything for me. Big fan of Led Zeppelin, and I certainly a big fan of Leonard Skinner. In fact, Gary Rosington owns land right up that way, right behind me, as a matter of fact. Well, not behind me, but kind of over a little bit of there's a little bit of a berm up there, and he owns the land over there. Did you ever smooth out your beef with Bogleheads? Yeah, someone from Bogleheads reached out to me, and it was nice. And I said, oh, appreciate it. I think he said, we're not going to delete your post, I think is what he said. I said, that's fine. Apparently, there's some pretty anal people on Bogleheads that, know-it-alls. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. I just, I've been dealing with know-it-alls my whole life, and it just bores you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna get in a piss match to these people. I don't care. If I roll over my former employer's 401k and traditional IRA, can I roll those funds into my Roth in the future and take the tax hit? That will not affect my yearly contribution limit. Correct? Yes, that's correct. But remember, you have to have earned income, either you or your better half, Denny, to make contributions. Absolutely. So as long as you have earned income, no, it doesn't matter. You can do conversions all day long for sure, and still make contributions as well. Yeah, pay the tax now. 100%. Classic watch or smart watch? So Frank says, if there's a way to get a homestead exemption, your state doesn't give you a tax break for homestead property. Is there a way to get a homestead exemption if your state doesn't give you a tax break for? I don't know. Good question, Frank. I don't know the answer to that. How long do you think until the climate change causes irreversible damage to the planet? Well, you have to say damage in what regard? Do you think climate change is a new phenomenon? It's a silly question, man. Come on. Climate has always changed. The planet is still here. Irreversible damage in what regard? Biomass would be awesome for off-grid burn wood chips for heat and power. 100% right. But don't be like England and say we're meeting our CO2 emissions when you're cutting down virgin forests from North Carolina and shipping it via a ship to England to have biomass, so you can say we're not burning burning fossil fuels. It's freaking stupid. And of course, that shipping, the transport, and the cutting of the virgin forest in North Carolina don't go into the equation. Q Humor says they'll find a way to tax Roth earnings. Laugh out loud. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe, but right now that's not a concern of mine. Are the Patriots going to make? Dude, I don't even know. It's weird, Dennis. I just don't care. It's funny, man. I was glad to see touchdown Tommy win a Super Bowl. To more further solidify his GOAT status, but I just don't care. If climate change was less than 10 years away, then 100%. I could not agree more. 100%. But what they say, Remo, is, well, it was on a high ground. Literally, that's what they said. They said, one guy said it was like 9 feet off the sea level, above the sea level, so they don't have to worry about it. Do you know the sea level is increased by 1 millimeter each year? A whole millimeter. Whole millimeter. We're all going to die. The argument with climate change people is the funniest thing in the world because they always have a way to justify the hypocrisy. And it cracks me up. I'm like, you're obviously a climate change skeptic then. That's what I'm going to start doing then, because if they're flying and they're worried about climate change, oh, you're a climate change skeptic. And of course, no one in the history of mankind has ever been a climate change skeptic. The whole thing is stupid, man. You're a skeptic or you're a climate change denier. It's infantile to argue that because it's just dumb. So if they fly airplanes and they're alarmists, they're a climate change skeptic because climate change to them means too much CO2 in the atmosphere. And what's the biggest way to put CO2 in the atmosphere is get on that airplane. Pablo, you got to make up your mind. Pablo can't decide if he wants to be with us crazy guys or if he wants to be with mama. I want to buy a property in Washington State, but that place is owned by commies that force tax on property that doesn't use any state facilities. Here he comes again, Pablo. I want to buy a property in Washington State, but that place is owned by commies that forces tax on property that don't use any state facilities. I don't get it, man. I don't get what that means. They don't use state facilities. Yeah, it's right on. So there we go. Frank says, I'm pro-abortion or people born or break into my car. Right on. Late-term abortion. That's one. Evil crap, man. Yeah, well, genetic or eugenics, abortion, all part of the Margaret Sanger. You know what I'm saying? I just find it funny, too. Like, Black Lives Matter. The blacks kill more aborted babies than anyone else, and no one cares. No one cares about the black babies that don't get born. Sad. It's absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. I'm sitting there thinking, folks, you're walking right into Margaret Sanger's playbook and the zero population growth. They hate you, and you're freaking walking right into it. It drives me up the wall, man. And yet somehow that's supposed to be progressive. It's disgusting. Disgusting. I'm just not a fan of Bitcoin. I don't have a position in it, and I literally don't see how Bitcoin can be considered a currency when it fluctuates so much. It always cracks me up when people say, my Bitcoin is worth what, $1 million. Like, okay. So we don't equate dollars in Bitcoin, but we equate Bitcoin in dollars for value. So I don't say I got 2 Bitcoins equivalent of currency. No one talks like that. And just it seems odd to me, but whatever. I'm not touching a 10-foot pole because it's not a currency. It's a speculation. It literally is speculative. And I don't understand why people don't get this. Well, currency is fiat. All right, well. All right, so the Federal Reserve Board is a 2% per year inflation target. All right, sometimes they'll get a little bit higher than that. Most likely will be lower than that if the Japanese model is what we're looking at. At the end of the day, that's yes, it is inflation. It does devalue the currency. I grant you that. At the end of the day, though, that is not the volatile swings of a currency called Bitcoin, which is only good if you can turn it in for dollars. It's just speculation. But Tesla will take your Bitcoin for a vehicle. Oh, what do you think they're doing, man? They're trying to produce the market for it. I mean, Elon Musk isn't a fool. He's like, hey, if I can get more people to buy Bitcoin, if I can establish a market for Bitcoin and get more people to buy into it because of my legitimacy, then we can sell Tesla, buy Bitcoin, which would be traded more valuable. It just inherently makes sense. At the end of the day, dollars are the currency. You need dollars to buy and sell stuff. And until Bitcoin crosses that road where it's in every store, it's just not a currency. It's just not a currency. Currencies don't fluctuate that much. Oh yeah, no, Jesus forgives everybody. That's all there is to it. Young people are too woke. I don't think that's what I was getting ready to say. So cute. Oh, there you go. Come on, sit on my lap, buddy. Come on. Good boy. A couple things. So a couple things happened the other day that was very phenomenal to me. Not one, not dose, but 3 young people in high school say they're going to go, if they go to college, they're going to go where they don't take on any debt. And I said, something seems to have transpired where people are recognizing the insanity of going in major debt, making college administrators rich. James Madison just hired 7 diversity academics. 7. So I have a sneaky suspicion that the young folks coming up, and this might be younger than 20, I don't know what generation that is. They're saying, screw this. I'm not going to major debt to make these administrators rich. You all can kiss my big fat behind. I heard that 3 times in just 2 days. I was like, oh man, that's good. All right, so here's Kenny. I took your advice and took gains from those high-flying growth stocks that made 80%. Just need to be nudged. It's harder to accumulate when you're obviously accumulating, right? 100%, Kenny. You always put money in, always put money in, always putting on money in. You're just watching it grow. And you're adding to it, watching it grow, adding to it. It's tough to change that, I'm telling you. Bitcoin, crypto in general scares heck out of me. I feel smart. I don't know, man. I feel free. All right. Pure leaf, unsweetened. Love that stuff. Bow, bow, bow now. I thought you were going to say sweet leaf. All right now. Anyone know who sings that? Won't you listen? Dostoevsky. I say, let the world go to hell, but I should always have my tea. Interesting, Jake. Ooh, my wife does not like sweet tea. She likes unsweet tea, and she drinks the hell out of it. All right. All right, so Homer says he already bought Daniel's spreadsheets. Great stuff. Max says, we're about, oh yeah, so I still like hockey, but I can't, we got another Homer here. The problem with hockey, college hockey, is the South Dakota or North Dakota Sioux, right? Or South Dakota Sioux, as that was called. You know, that classic Blackhawk, the green and white Blackhawk was just freaking awesome. Now they got some parasite thing. That's stupid. Shout out to Liam right now. That kid's going to be a billionaire. Some auto update. Otherwise, I make the update. So you're going to have to buy them again. All right. So Mushki says, I quit my crappy old job by end of year. Thought I needed several million saved before I can retire. You taught me no debt, no pension. And I can retire, and I am. That's awesome. Genevieve Bajol from Coma. I don't even know what that means. My dream is to start, Mr. Whittam, my dream is to start a financial planning firm to serve contractors. I'm a carpenter right now in the CFP room. Do you think it's a good business idea? Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you got a niche already established, right on. Yep, I think it's fantastic. Love it. Seemed like I had something I want to say on that. Just because you can speak to these guys, man. You can speak to them. Just remember, you'll be told no a lot. Don't want to bother you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just look at Thomas. Thomas saw the miracles Jesus was performing. He saw it with his own very eyes. Peter did as well. And when Thomas saw the risen Jesus, he goes, I got to touch it to believe. And Peter denied Jesus when the little girl said, you knew that guy. Peter's like, hell no, I didn't. So the reason I say it is because, in fact, there's a passage in Scripture about, when you go to a town and they don't welcome you, just dust off your shoes and go to the next town. Pablo. Come here. Let's just get some of this. Oh, yes. What is up? There he is. Oh. Hi. Just sit on my lap. And so just going to have to remember, you're going to be told no. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means for some reason they didn't find the value in what you're offering at that point. Move on. Yeah, that's nuts, man. How did Oakland get away with distributing money based on race? It's insane too, because It's just the same. All right. I'm going to put you in timeout, Lola. What is my stance on the rise of crypto? I think we already talked about that. Genevieve was my grandma's name. She's the sweetest person ever. That's not true, Eric. You're lying. You're a liar. You're a liar. Sweetest person ever is my wife. Snowflakes would be having a meltdown right now if they heard his Irish name's commentary. Lost 20,000 means stupid in the stock market. How should I utilize these losses? Well, start looking at Roth conversions, man. Okay, here's Mary Mo. Do we talk about this? 800K deferred, 130 joint, 2 kids as dependents for 2 more years. Roth conversions now, or wait 5 years when income drops. I'd wait. My man, I don't know if he's on here, Sergio or not. I gotta look at this, but I don't like the idea of doing Roth conversions where the markets are here today, especially if you're making 130. I just wait. I don't. You don't want to do Roth conversions into a decline. Now, does that mean the market's going to decline? No. Could the market continue to go up? Of course it could. I don't trust this market as far as I could kick it. Doesn't mean I'm a 100% stocks. I just have a high hesitation to recommend doing Roth conversions, especially if in a couple of years your income's going to drop. But that's a challenge right there, Mary. Yeah, well, that's the problem, Eric. You pay off the credit card with a 401k loan and then build the debt back up. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Is it worth doing Roth conversions if you have to pay the tax from within the IRA? Absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. But here's Kim. But if she borrows from her 401k or gets fired, she would have to pay that money back ASAP. She'll have to pay it back ASAP, or she'll have a penalty or a tax she'll have to pay on what she hadn't paid ASAP. And she might even have a penalty if she's under the age of 59 and a half. And that's the risk you take. I find that risk to be rather minimal, frankly, as opposed to high credit card debt, interest on your credit card. All right, so this is a 401k thing. So you're using after-tax dollars to pay off a pre-tax income. I don't get what you're saying there. So this is what they're saying, but you're not. Essentially, what you're doing is you're saying you're gonna put the money back in without getting a tax deduction. All right, let's show you how these 401ks work. All right, so we got tax deferred going in and taxable coming out. All right, everybody agree with that, right? Tax deferred going into the 401k. Oops. Tax deferred going in and tax deferred and taxable coming out, right? Does that make sense? All right. So what happens when we borrow from the 401k? All right, so we got tax deferred going in, taxable coming out. So they're offsetting each other, are they not? When we borrow from the 401k, we have tax-free going in, right? And post-tax, tax-free coming out, excuse me. Screwed that up. Woo, that's brutal. So we got and so here we got tax-free coming out and post-tax going in. That offsets itself. It's weird to me that people don't get this. So we have post-tax, we had tax deferred, non-tax going in, taxable coming out, tax-free coming out, post-tax going in. It's a wash, man. It's a complete wash. Everyone seems to think it's gonna be double tax or using after-tax dollars to pay pre-tax income for 401k. It's just that simple. When the money going in that to pay it, you don't get a tax deduction on, but the money coming out to pay off your credit card, you have to pay income tax on it. It's just that simple. So it's tax free coming out, post tax going in. Those two offset each other. Tax deferred going in, Taxable coming out. Those offset each other. It's a wash, man. It's a wash. In terms of the taxation, it's not double tax at all. I don't get why people think that. Part two of that is you still have the credit card interest you have to contend with. And I'm just telling you right now, because I modeled it every which way to Sunday. You can read my book. It's right there for the day. I encourage anyone to. Would I recommend living off my IRA during gap years, allowing taxable and Roth accumulate until? Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is the drawback here. The only thing is with Obamacare stuff, until you hit Medicare, just got to be careful there. Then you might want to live off that taxable account in order to make sure you get those credits. I did a video today. There's some pretty significant rule changes for the next 2 years under Sniffy Joe's American Rescue Plan. Of course, American Rescue Plan means we're not going to be rescued, obviously, because Affordable Care Act means it's not going to be affordable. The Patriot Act was not for patriots, so just be advised. But yeah, I think it's a good move. And I think Pulverizer might have Parkinson's or something like that because he's shaking so much. Josh had videos of doing Roth conversion at the top of the market and lost his shirt. Yeah, that's right. It wasn't me. It was about someone right on. Yep, someone lost his shirt. And some guys were saying that that it shouldn't matter. I get what they're saying. I'd have to dive a little bit deeper in that. It's hard, and I haven't crunched it yet. But I mean, in terms of the argument would be is, all right, let me just kind of draw this out off just. So basically, my man Sergio was saying, I had a guy, I'm just going to do $100,000. All right, so a guy with $100,000, he did a Roth conversion, and it cost him 25% in taxes. So now he's down to $75,000. The market fell. We're just going to say 25% just for simplicity. I don't remember the specific. Oh man, I keep forgetting my computer, my calculator. One sec. We got so 75,000. So he's got 56,250 now. So all right, so he did the Roth conversion, and then the market fell 25% the minute he did the Roth conversion. This is kind of what happened in the year 2000. All right, so he's got 56,250. Sergio was saying, don't do the Roth conversion. Let the market, well, I don't know what to make it grow to. All right, so he's got 56,250. I'm not going to, I don't have my other calculator. Shoot. Anyway, the point being is Sergio's like, look, as long as the taxes are all the same, it's a wash in terms of if he does it later on to do the conversion. Or if he does the conversion now, the 56,250 will grow at, there we go. Say it grows at, we'll say for 10 years. Yes, bear with me. So you got 56,250. It's going to grow at 7.2% a year for 10 years. All right. So 56 times 2. So in 10 years, it's going to be worth 112. All right. Gotcha. All right. So I hope that makes sense. So he started with 100,000. He did Roth conversion for 25% taxes. And I'm just throwing numbers out there. Then the market fell 25%. And then he got 7.2% of rate of return for 10 years. So he's left with 112 10 years from now. All right. So he's $12,000 above where he was. Hope that makes sense. All right. So now we're going to take in Sergio's way $100,000. All right. He's going to lose 25,000 because he lost 25%. So now he's down to 75,000 because he lost 25%. Now that money's going to double because we're going to get 7.2% for 10 years to 150. And I haven't done this calculation yet. Now he's got to pay 25% in taxes on that 150. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, I think I'm right. Yeah. Okay. So 25% taxes on that 150. All right. So 150 times 0.75 equals 112,500. All right. So Sergio was correct in that if you do the Roth conversion or not, it's going to come out the same. The problem. Okay, so I grant you, as long as everything stays the same, it wouldn't matter. It's a wash. In fact, if anything, you might want to take advantage. I don't know, but I get that. But I'm just telling you, I want to show you something. going back to Daniel's spreadsheets here. And I'm always going to, the Nikkei. All right, so here's my concern. I'm not going to lie to you. I think about this. Oops, I got to go back. 1 second. We can make these numbers absolutely work, and I get it. But where I'm going with this is, what if we're wrong? And here's the Nikkei. All right, so this is the Japanese Nikkei starting in 19. So, man, it's just from 1978 to 1989. Look at that. 23, 10, 8, 9, 4, 23, 17, 13, 44, 15, 40, 29. All right, so you see that, right? And then let's go to the S&P 500 real quick. And I'm just, oh man, and I am not trying to be a negative Nelly here. I'm not. I'm just trying to say, where's the S&P 500? Is it right there? We'll just use the Vanguard index. It's the same thing, minus 5 basis points. All right, so here comes the S&P 500. We're going to go back to 2009. 26, 15, 2, 16, 32, 14, 1, 12, 21, down 4.5, up 31, and last year is up another 15. Is there not some similarities there? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years positive with 1 year negative. We've only had one bear market. That's for 33 days. We had a small bear. It wasn't a bear market. Q4 of 2018, the market was down 19.4. 2015, in May to June, we were down about, I think, 14%. And then 2011, in July and August, we're down another 12% or something like that. That's it. So my concern is if you do a Roth conversion, I just tell you, man, the concern I have is that you're going to pay tax on money that might not be there again if the markets go flat. I'm not saying I'd be convinced not to do it, but just people ask if they should or what I think. I said, I couldn't do it for myself. I couldn't do it for myself. I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think the market has some downside risk and imminent. But I absolutely could be wrong, and it sucks. So you have to make that decision for yourself. There is no right or wrong answer, man. I just know that what I see the market as it is, I sit there and say, seems pretty high a risk of a significant down market. And just because you have a significant down market, you will lose those taxes. And yes, you could, in the long run, gather those taxes back with the equitable returns on stocks that you would have on either side of the equation. But you're still out that money now. In this case right here, the one guy was down to $56,000. The other guy was only down to $75,000. I mean, that's a 20% difference or something like that. Yeah. My man is 31 years old. Best instruments for retirement. Roth IRA always works. Never lets you down. Okay. Oh man, DC has an 8.5% income tax. Damn. Yeah, absolutely, Chad. If I'm going to DC with 8.5% income tax, I'm not doing Roth. No way. Yeah, I mean, Kim, I said, yes, I don't like Roth conversions when the market's high, but I don't know. But we got to qualify this. The markets are always on the high end, if that makes sense. They always are. Because they're going like this. They go like this, but let me show you. The downs are temporary. The ups are permanent. All right, so you'll see the markets they go up. This is a high. This is a high. There's a down. Here's another high. There's another high. There's a down. And that's how the markets work. So the markets being high isn't extraordinary. The issue is just you're looking at what's happening on the ground. You're like, that concerns me deeply. And as such, hard for me to say, go ahead and spend 20% of your total savings on Roth conversions when I just think that's a hard road to hoe. Yeah, right on, Marie. Yep, that was a good healthcare video today, wasn't it, man? That was pretty good. Good stuff. How much dollars would I convert to Bitcoin? None. I'd love to move back to New England at some point. Can you recommend New England locations with reasonable property taxes? Well, I live in Georgia, right? So just FYI, I'm from Maine originally. So if I ever move back, is going to Maine. I mean, I like New Hampshire, but the property taxes are high. No sales or income tax. Well, there's a way to get those sales taxes. Live in Kittery. Go down to New Hampshire. But I don't want to live in southern Maine, that's for sure. So anyway, if I find my way back there, we'll have to see what happens. Where you live right now, Paul? Because you're I don't remember, even like Virginia. So everyone says, Virginia, the property tax. Right? Well, the property taxes are high in Northern Virginia. They're not high in Western Virginia. We lived in Rockham County. It's 50.57% of property taxes, and our house is only worth $132,000 or something like that. So, the property taxes on your certain county is low. Go to city data. Oh, well, actually, I think I have a thing on property tax. I know I do. Bookmark. Do I have it on my website? Hey, hold on a second. I think I got my website, man. Property taxes. Let's see. So we're going to go to my website. Share. Chrome tab. Right there. And tax tools. Property tax right here. I haven't looked at this for a while, as you can tell. But I thought this did by county. So let's see if we go to Portland, Maine. There we go. Portland, Maine. All right, there you go. Cumberland County, average county tax rate, 1 point. So property taxes. Let's put Bangor, Maine, which is in Penobscot County. All right, there you go. And then Freiburg, Maine. So pretty much all the same in Maine. So now we go to Dayton, Virginia. Yeah, right there, Rockham County, 0.59. All right. Now we're going to go to Alexandria, Virginia, 1.808. Look at that. And then we're going to go to, my brother lives in Richmond, VA. Look at that. So if you're in the western part of Virginia, let's go to Stanton, Virginia. There's a guy on this channel from Stanton, but he's a big fearmonger, sadly, about the COVID. So I don't think he's on here anymore. He doesn't like my stance on not mandating masks and mandating vaxes, and actually going outside and breathing the fresh air and getting some vitamin D. He finds that to be very scary. So we used to live in Kendall County, in Bernie, Texas. Right there. Oosh. We lived in Phoenix. Look at Maricopa. But not Harrisonburg. We lived in Haddonfield. 3.46 in Camden County. Can you believe that? Our house is worth $450. Look at that. It's freaking nuts, man. Can you freaking believe that? My sister lives in Morristown. I don't know what her house is worth. Camden County, that's freaking nuts. They can all kiss my big fat behind, man. Where else we live? Seems like I'm missing someplace. Maybe not. All right, cool. All right. Oh man, so you're getting TD Ameritrade brokerage account. That's fantastic. I just did a video on TD Ameritrade stuff. Their website is fantastic. Any thoughts on TD Ameritrade? I liked it, man. I'm a big fan of their. I mean, I guess they're merging with Schwab if they haven't already. But yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Hey, what's going on, William? Yeah, I don't believe that. So William says, won't the high percentage of bonds drag these total returns down in the next 5 to 10 years? No, I mean, theoretically it could. But just look at the history of bonds. And if you look at them, let's go to probably not the Ginnie Mae. What would be a good one to look at? Yeah, but well, maybe we'll. I'm trying to think. What's the bond index? I'm drawing a blank. If you look at bonds, historically, when they had a bad year, the next year they snapped back quite nicely. And the reason was because the raising of the interest rate stopped. Usually the Fed will raise, then they'll stop, and then they'll raise. So they raised in 94, they raised in 99. I think they raised a little bit in 90. 2014 or 6, I think it's 2014, they might have raised a little bit. Can't remember. But when the Fed raises, the bonds get knocked around, and then the next year it snaps back. I can't say it'll happen forever. But the nice thing about the Wellesley and the Wellington is I am not convinced we're not going into deflation in a similar scenario than Japan. I'm just not. And I mean, people have yet to convince me that Japan won't be us. We won't be Japan light. There's so many similarities. It's nuts. And as such, what does well in low inflation or even deflation is bonds. It does. On top of that, just going back to Japan, on top of that, just going back to the 1960 to 1982 debacle here, bonds did fine. They did fine. They held your own. You know, the stock markets got bounced around and bonds did just fine. I'm surprising because I've been anti-bonds, but, you know, the history is the history. I don't know if that will repeat itself. I have no idea. But the facts were in 1966 to 1982, when the stock market was getting killed, the bonds survived. And Japan during the 1990 to basically 2017, the bonds survived. What did not survive was stocks. So I think this market is, I don't think that this. I just want to know where the earnings are going to come from. At the end of the day, where are the earnings going to come from, man? Corporate taxes going up, bad on earnings. Increasing regulations, bad on earnings. Lots of people unemployed, bad on earnings. You can only give away the store so much in stimulus before people stop consuming. Do Roth conversions when the market crashes, save on taxes, then let Roth sit? Yeah, I mean, I get right on. I mean, I just showed you what my man Sergio showed me, that it's either on either side of the case. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if I did a Roth conversion and we suddenly had a 35% decline in the market, I'm not feeling good about myself. I'm just not. The taxes are gone. Now, regardless of what the market does on either side of it, we'll be back even, Steven, if everything stays the same. But we don't live in a vacuum like that. I cannot recommend doing Roth conversions where the market just seems to me is ready for a decline. That's not a permanent decline. It just seems to me that we're going to have some kind of temporary, like we always do. The gains are permanent, we think, and the losses are temporary. Yeah, right on, Mushki. The new ACA. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Sniffy Joe. I mean, he did a good thing here. Well, he didn't, because he doesn't know who he is. But, you know, Dr. Jill, or probably what's her name, Susan Rice. Barbell I prefer. And why do I prefer? It's just easier to manage, for sure. Nancy says, Trump, you got a new profile picture, Nancy? Trump left us high and dry. In what regard? I'm not sure where you're going with that. If you take out 0%, I guarantee 100% you won't run out of money. What percent of payroll tax do I avoid in retirement? 6.2 on OASDI and 1.45 on Medicare, so 7.65. And I don't think Biden's killed and sold the nation. I think that's happened long ago, man. Yeah, right on, Jake. Right on. Yeah, Jake's no left wing snowflake either. He lives in rural Massachusetts. Tax aren't. I completely agree. I think other than the property taxes are the big one, frankly. And if you can avoid a huge property tax state, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Texas, I think you'll be okay. Again, I'd rather pay I'd rather be in a higher income tax state than a high property tax state. Income taxes are easy to avoid. Just be poor on paper, like I've done videos on. Property taxes, can't avoid it. Now you can avoid it by moving to a different place, but moving sucks, man. And at the end of the day, you can avoid it by getting a manufactured home. That's fine. I got no qualm with that. But by and large, most people don't want to move, and most people want just a good old fashioned stick built 3 to 4 bedroom home. They can have their grandkids over, and as such, they're always going to have a 4 on property tax. Hey, Kim saw Nancy on Christopher Westfall's Medicare live stream today. That's awesome. I love when that happens. Yeah, I've been trying to convince my wife to get LASIK too. Cute. Sad thing, if she gets it, she'll say, "What am I married to this ugly dog for?" She'll be like, "Whoa, now I can see." Ugh. Look, man, love what the Trumpster did for 3 of the 4 years, but I'm a DeSantis guy. That's all there is to it. How about the guy in Maine that lived 27 years in the woods, most likely got caught taking food because he didn't see the hidden camera because he was wearing that same old glasses for 27 years? What are my thoughts on the emotion of paying off debt rather than investing, hoping for a higher return? Yeah, dude, I just think debt is evil. Debt's the enemy. And as such, you pay off debt and you're going to feel good. Just don't get back into it. I'm just telling you. That's a great point, Eric. You're paying off debt as a guarantee on the investment you're hoping. What if you don't pay off the debt and you invest and then the markets decline? That's freaking awesome points, brother. Then you're like, man, I could have paid. Look, if you've been in this business long enough, you've said, I was a multi-millionaire in 2000. I should have got out. I should have, would have, could have. I've heard that 1,000 times a Sunday. And what that means is they didn't sell soon enough, man. And they said, well, we're going to ride it out. And then they're waking up, they're 75% poor. And they still got the debt. Don't let that happen. Pay the friggin' stuff off, man. I got a life membership to the NRA. So that's probably why they're going broke, because they have too many life memberships. I got what, for like $25 a quarter for like 5 years or something like that. Yeah, do not do Roth conversions while market's high because they don't allow it to be undone anymore. Yeah, but the problem is we don't know if the market's high, will it go higher? We just don't know. So that's always the problem with any of this stuff. Is all we don't know what's going to happen. As such, I just look at again just to reiterate, and I don't. Where are we going to be for earnings once the stimmy goes away? Can you even own an AR-15 in mass? I don't know. I bet you probably can't. Can you even own a Glock? I know you can, if you know what I'm saying, like I did in New Jersey. I did not own any firearms, Chris Christie, you freaking piece of crap. I did not own any firearms there, Camden County Sheriff. Trust me, I did not. Is that the same way you got to be in Massachusetts too? Yeah, dude, love it, man. 75 Wellington, 20. Oh, no, I don't like that. Hell no. That's too much in bonds, dude. I don't know what your situation is, but no, I thought for some reason I read it in reverse. 75% total stock, 25% Wellington. Yeah. What do I think of fixed income annuity for a TSP rollover for principal protection? I'm not against fixed annuities. I just, I'm not against them. Do we need the principal protection? I don't know. They're not paying much right now. I'm not against fixed annuities. I'm not a big fan of variable. I've turned on fixed indexed annuities, though. I'm starting to see the benefit there. And the benefit is not for someone who's trying to build wealth. The benefit is for someone who's trying to protect wealth and get some growth. I'm starting to see the benefits there. I'm not seeing the benefits of any of this crap if you're paying a big commission, though. That's the drawback. Hey, the original CB. Yeah, right on. You got it, CB. Still offering the $500 annual checkup. So the question is, once you become a client of your old buddy Josh, I do it once. Well, it could be every day if you wanted, but it's $500 annual checkups as we go forward. So that's what he's asking. Do you still do those? So yes, I do, CB. The original CB, not the California CB. Probably. I mean, your Roth is included in your estate for estate tax. So if they do a wealth tax, they're going to include Roths as part of it for sure. All right. I'm 23, maxed out Roth, saving $250 per week. My 401k, have some extra fund money. I wouldn't invest in individual stock. I just keep doing VTI or whatever you're doing. I mean, unless you see a stock you enjoy, you like, I mean, yeah, by all means, but don't just do it because some guy says you need an individual stocks. Now, at the end of the day, I've got a couple just because it is kind of fun to own. I'm not going to lie to you. I got 100 shares of Exxon and 100 shares of AKAM. I haven't looked at either for a couple of days. What's AKAM? Yeah, so I've made, there you go. So I made a little bit of money. The problem with individual stocks, Phil, is that you're going to say, oh, man, I'm up. Like I bought Exxon at 38, something like that, and then went up to 62. I said I should take my gains. But see, that's the problem. You don't do that with mutual funds, but you do it in individual stocks. So, that's a drawback. Is a financial reset a necessity? I'm not sure what we mean by that. Nothing's a necessity. I don't have any play money for bubble stocks. I got debt. Dude, I got 4 kids. I got debt. I got 2 dogs. When I got debt, I got a mortgage. I mean, so I don't have any play money. My play money, and I got freaking hell of a lot of taxes to pay because I'm self-employed, so I pay both sides of the payroll tax. Rat thinks. Oh boy, Kim is telling me to get naked. To soak up vitamin D, you can't have a lot of clothes on. Your skin soaks up the vitamin D. Yeah, it was going through my face, right? Trust me, man. No one around here wants to see me naked. Yeah, right on, Paul. VFIAX. I don't know what that one is. VFIA. What is it, Pops? Oh, what is it? Oh, there you go. Yeah, right on. All right, that's Max. There you go, man. Love it. Love it. Max is kicking butt, taking names there. Yeah, the Thinkorswim platform from TD is nice for sure. Should I sell my Roth IRA to pay off my mortgage? Nah, you only got 80K on it. Nah, man, just keep plugging away. That beautiful house in the awesome neighborhood is only what you talk about. The house I'm in now. The house I lived in Haddonfield was a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2.5 bath Cape Cod. That's not this one right here. That we bought that for $450, I think, and we sold it for $520. 22 months later. My husband's doing the dishes after dinner, begging me to help him. I'm telling him, see, Josh is teaching us great stuff. Oh, your husband's going to come and punch me in the face. Because not only that, you told me to get naked. Isn't that right, Bob? Oh, look at that boy. Dude, oh my goodness. Is that Mama? Did you hear Mama? He's such a little baby. He's like, thank God I don't have Finney near me. Finney just loves Pablo. Oh my goodness. So Pablo escaped from our fence. He crawls underneath it. And how I know is that Finney starts going, woo, woo, Pablo, Pablo, woo, woo. Anyway, so Pablo came around front. I picked him up and I had him like this. I said, Finney. And I'm on the back deck. I'm like, Finney. So Finney's on the other side of the yard looking out saying, where's Pablo? Where's Pablo? Where's Pablo? And then I had Pablo just like this. And Finney was like, whatever. I don't care about you, Dad. I want to see Pablo. And then all of a sudden, Pablo just made this little squeak, a tiny little squeak. And Finney said, Pablo! And he came flying to play with Pablo. He just loves him so much. He's like, yeah, you came back to me, Pablo. And so I'm walking down the stairs with Pablo like this. And Finney just comes up and he just like freaking does a flying drop kick on me to play with Pablo. I was like, keep me away from that guy. Oh, man. Chelsea Clinton. Nothing corrupt there. Luke, I don't know, man. That's I don't know enough to answer that. Sorry. All right. North Virginia, right on. Oh yeah. Where part of New England you from, brother? Yeah, Paul, right there. Call Mary. Mary high recommended for me. Connecticut. Absolutely. She knows New England. And she's still up there in Connecticut, and I trust her implicitly. I cannot agree more with that. Right on, man. Have bonds in your IRA and stocks everywhere else, and have no risk of paying high tax on overvalued stocks. That's great. That's a great observation, brother. All right. Yes. Roth. Well, that's a good point. If you're trying to do it for a legacy, Roth conversions make sense. Right on, Dennis. That's a great point. Yes, sir. All right. It's not double tax. It's not. Repay the loan with after-tax dollars, and you pay the tax at withdrawal. So the buddy is you're not paying the tax at withdrawal. Jeez, man. It's frustrating. All right. Hey. All right. So let's see. We're going to get ready to call this. I'm getting tired now. New kid's book, The Adventures of Finney and Pablo. Number one advice, prepare for expected death in the family. Make sure you have wills and everything set up, man. I'm telling you, make sure you got estate planning. You do not want kids and loved ones arguing over curtains. I've seen it with my own very two blind eyes. We got a retired Marine here. All right, so we got to we got to talk very slowly. Retired Marine. When should my wife claim her own Social Security benefits and switch it to about half of mine? So remember that they're going to say at the end of the day, they're going to pay her the most of either your benefit or her benefit of half. So they're going to pay her the most. That's how it works, man. So your wife is going to claim her own Social Security benefits. They're going to say you're going to get either the most of old Doug's spousal benefit, which would be half of yours if you took it at full retirement age, or hers, whichever's most. She can't make that determination. Sean Mann's here. All right, my liberal friend up in Massachusetts. I got Kiani Kim. I got a couple photovoltaic panels, and I got some MPPTs. I've been playing around with them. It's been fun. Actually, the lately I've been just in my garden, man. Garden, big time. But it's fun, and I love just being outside. I love being outside in the garden. It's fantastic, and but it's fun messing around with the solar, with the batteries, a little battery powered stuff. It's a good time for sure. But it's not. I mean, literally, it's white trash stuff. There's nothing fancy there. But yeah, I mean, if I can charge some batteries with a free sun, why not? Why not? Why can't the Bruins get secondary scoring? I haven't really followed much hockey. I just saw the Flyers are out for the playoffs, right? The only reason I know this, my man Chris Barfield from Barfield Financial. Speaking of which, my man Doug down here, I think it was Doug. Yeah, Doug Olson, Dougie Fresh Olson. You're a retired Marine with TSP. Yeah, read my man Chris Barfield at Barfield Financial. Make sure you subscribe to his stuff. If you have anyone on here with TSP, if you're not subscribing to freaking Chris Barfield Financial, well, you're wrong. Charlie Coyle, what's Pasternak doing? Is he putting pucks in the net? I remember last year was on fire, man. It looked like he might get 60, and then freaking stupid COVID. How I hate COVID. John says, 4 months from my D-Day, I'm concerned that my allocations are wrong in my different accounts. Would Amar be a good resource? Yeah, reach out to him. Absolutely, man. Reach out to Amar for sure. I met another guy the other day. I haven't got permission to talk about him yet, but actually, I need to reach out to him. I like him. He operates the same way I do, and Amar as well. But I want to actually. I want to make sure before I give him names that he's cool with me doing that for sure. Because some people don't like to be associated with me because my politics, my crazy right-wing politics, which are, I find your ideas intriguing. I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter because you're so right-wing. Yeah, you're not woke, Josh. You have that pale skin privilege. I just don't think inflation is going to be an issue. I just don't. I mean, look, anything could happen. I look at Japan as a model. Japan scares me more than anything, and that's my concern. If we have a little bit of inflation, that's not a huge concern to me at all. It's the reason we had inflation from the 1970s because we had idiots like Richard Nixon running the show, freaking idiot, with LBJ backed by Nixon, all Keynesians. Carter was better than Nixon. It's just a fact, my friends, just a fact. Believe it or not, Carter was better than Nixon. LBJ and Nixon said we're all Keynesians now. It wasn't Carter who said that. It was freaking Richard Nixon. So massive price controls, wage controls, massive regulation, OSHA, EPA under Richard Nixon, a conservative Republican. Freaking nuts. LBJ, the Great War Machine. On top of Medicare expansion, just massive amounts of Great Society crap. It's just the whole thing was inflation, nuts inflationary, and as such, that was the inflation. We're not going to go into that, man. I'm sorry. They keep saying the government debt, government debt, government debt. Dude, I've been hearing this. Just Japan. Japan's got a debt to GDP of about 250%. They've had that for going on almost 20 years now. There is no inflation there. Active, I would think so. Yes, sir, I would think so. Are active ETFs less tax efficient than index mutual funds? I would think so, absolutely. But it depends on the ETF, man. I just don't know. But I would think that'd be okay. Only 15 minutes of sun a day to get your vitamin D? What if it's just on my face, though? I mean, what if I'm not out there with my white butt? Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. That's a good question, man. I don't trust the World Economic Forum and those clowns as far as I could kick them. The EU, the Davos crowd. These are pretty ambitious folks. I don't know they're going to be able to get it through. And if America doesn't follow along, it ain't happening. It all through America, because America's the best. We all know that. No one would deny that. America kicks ass and takes names. And anyone who says otherwise, I'm sorry. I'm not the channel for you. America, by far and away, is not perfect. Because there's only one perfect human being in the history of mankind, and it ain't us. And that guy was crucified. And as such, we all should ascribe to be like him, but we never will. We'll always fall short. At the end of the day, when the American flag comes waving and you're in the world of hurt, you are freaking loving life. When the commie flag comes waving and you're in the world of hurt, you're like, don't come near me. But dude, you're hurting. I don't want the commies. I want America. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. When the American flag comes, you're going to be taken care of. That's all there is to it, man, because America kicks ass and takes names, and I'll never apologize for that. Never. With that said, the American economy is what rules the school. China is a commie. I was reading an article today, like, China. I was like, dude, you freaking idiots, man. The Chinese population is declining. Look, they're projecting to have 750 million people by the end of the century. That's only 80 years away, my friends. 750 million people. They got 1.4 billion people now. It's not inflationary. The whole world is losing people. Not inflationary. The only country that's really grown right now is Indonesia and Nigeria. That's it. Every other place is dropping in population size. And Bill Gates is very happy because people are the great evil. And as such, none of these countries are going to overtake the United States. It's just not going to happen. Not anytime soon. Now, great empires always fall. We will fall eventually. And we might fall because all this wokeism crap, but I think there's still a lot of righteous men and women out there of righteous anger who say, no, I'm not dealing with that crap. You know, I believe in God, guns, and freedom. And as such, I'm not going to give them away easily, which is good. And so I think at the end of the day, because we have every other 2 years, we have an election cycle, that usually would put a damper on some craziness that DC would do Biden to follow the Davos crowd. So I'm not all that pessimistic about that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen regardless. So just, that's what I'm saying, man. Find yourself a place, learn how to grow some food, get some solar photovoltaic, learn how to use them, get some freaking prep items just in case, man. Shortages are always caused by government regulation, government interference. You want to make sure you have your preps. You got to have preps. You got to have freeze-dried food. You got to have freaking vacuum-sealed food. You got to have a water supply. Getting your little food forest out there. Why do you think I plant apple, plum, blueberries, peach trees out there, fig trees? And it's a food forest. I'm growing. I have obviously a little garden as well, and I keep lots of seeds, man. And every time my wife comes back with a red or orange pepper, I take all the seeds, I put them in a little thing, and I put them in a dark, cool place, as you should do the same. What else? Keep your seeds. Get some emergency preps for lights for sure. Keep your freaking tanks filled up at least over half. Because the great reset is going to come or it's not. There's nothing to do about it. It's going to happen. The issue is, what are you going to do if it happens? And if it happens, you're going to be a world of hurt if you're not prepared. And you still might well be, but at least you'll go down with a full belly, right? As opposed to freaking scrounging. Tell you, man, just be prepared. Just like the Boy Scouts said, be prepared, be prepared. Or not the Boy Scouts, Japheth from Hoodwinked. Be prepared, be prepared. It's a lesson that must be shared. It's a lesson that must be shared to be prepared. All right, my friends, nothing to do. Don't vote for the globalists. That's for damn sure. I think at the end of the day, yeah, 100% Joseph. 100%, man. Yeah, Jack's, I appreciate it, but Jack's was a long time, first time. But Jack, the reckless spending isn't what it's going to give us the inflation. We've had reckless spending since FDR. We've only had a balanced budget for 3 years under Clinton and the Republican Congress. That's it. We've had debts as far as the eye can see, and it hasn't been inflationary. There's rule that says government spending leads to inflation has been disproven. There's no correlation. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It's not mutually exclusive. But the correlation between government debt and high inflation, there is no this then that. It doesn't exist, man. So as such, we say, what causes inflation? Well, it's scarcity. What causes scarcity is government regulations and price controls. That's scary. Siffy Joe could be doing that, but it's not as happening as what Richard Nixon did, thankfully. Now, it could. I do get concerned with some of these regulations coming out of what I'm hearing about, but not enough to make me all that concerned right now. But price controls are the big concern right there. Price and wage. I'm not so much worried about wage controls, but price controls are the big one. All right, my friends, appreciate y'all being here. You guys, I don't care what they say, you guys are the best audience on the YouTubes. Pablo says, night, night, rough, night, night, time to go, night, night. And we'll see what his brother Finney is doing, because I'm sure Finney is fit to be tied without his brother. Thanks again. We'll see ya. Oh, good boy. Good, you got it. Good boy.